Configuring email services. We're going to configure Supportworks to connect to an email server and use the shared help desk mailbox. The 4 stages I will go through in this recording are: first of all, I hope to create a Supportworks shared mailbox, set up active mail services on that mailbox, and start the mail connector. Thereafter, I'll configure an analyst to access that mailbox. Before you do any of this, you must make sure that there's a mailbox present on the existing mail server that supports POP3 and IMAP4 protocols. That mailbox should be available for Supportworks mail connector to connect to. First thing you need to do is, on the Supportworks server configuration, you access the inbound SMTP mail routing tab. Over here, you need to specify the domains that are accepted by this server. In order to create that domain, I'd need to just click on New, and my domain is called test.hornbill.com. I'll leave the other 2 boxes as they are, ticked already, and when it asks me to import addresses, I'll just say no. Make sure that enable SMTP services on this server box is ticked, and the second one, which is allow direct mailbox routing. You don't have to tick the other 2 options. The next tab you go to is the System Mailboxes tab. Now over here, you'll specify the name of the shared mailbox that you'll be using. In order to do that, you click on Add Mailbox. Our mailbox name is called Help Desk, and the display name is Supportworks Mailbox. Of course, it can be anything you choose. Now, in this section of the System Mailboxes tab, I'd have to specify the server name. In my case, my server is X2K 7 test testhornbill.com, and my signature is my email address, which is testpamela L at the same domain. And just apply OK. When I double click my mailbox, I can add a particular address. I can associate an address to this mailbox. In my case, I'll use my email address, which is testpamela, should be lowercase. And the domain has popped up because we put it in the inbound SMTP. The domain shows as test.hornbill.com. Should I make this the default address? Yes, I'll click on that. So once that's done, I've completed creating the Supportworks shared mailbox. The next thing I'd have to do is set up active services on that mailbox. As you know, mail is sent using SMTP and received using either POP3 or IMAP4. You can configure either one of these. In my case, I'm going to use IMAP4, that is to receive emails, and in order to send emails, I'll have no choice but to use SMTP. In order to set up SMTP, I'd click on Add SMTP and get the server name that I initially specified and paste it there. So I'll just go back to the server configuration and just copy the entire server name and just paste it there. Then I'll have my email address as my signature. And I'll be able to test this. If I OK it stays there. The next thing I'd have to do is configure my IMAP4. I'd specify again the same server name, and I'd use my username as my IMAP4 username is testpamela, and I specify my password, and I test my connection, and it passes. I click OK, and it stays there. The next thing I want to do is configure customer lookup. Now this means for every email that comes in, the system will be able to recognize the customer's record in the database based on their email address. So I'd have to specify the table that I want. The table is userdb, customer ID is based on key search. The email address is based on email record in the system. First name is associated to first name. Surname is associated to the surname. The SLA, now this is a little bit tricky because the SLA says SLA, but you have to associate it to the priority record. The control is associated to the web flag of that customer, meaning in the system you have to specify that this customer is able to log calls through using email, and the password is really just the password. When you're done, click apply and OK. After we're done with that, we go to the messaging tab, and as you can see here, there's the internet service which is already running. In some cases it's not running, so you just have to double click the start stop and check all these boxes. I don't really need to process global address list the global address list, so I'll just uncheck that box. And next thing I'll do is go to the mail scheduler and configure that. The port interval says this is the number of seconds that Supportworks will take between the time it polls the server for more emails to come in. It will wait another 300 seconds and then poll the server again. So if I want to change that, I'll just set it to something like 10 seconds for this purposes of this test. But always make sure that your poll interval is high, like 300 seconds. So I've set up my mailbox. My mail connector is running. The next thing I have to do is go into the client and give some analyst rights to this mailbox. I'm just logging into the client now. I'm logging in as admin, and then I'll access my admin account, right click on and select properties. Then I'll go to the email privileges tab. Now over here, instead of selecting personal mailbox, I'll select on shared mailbox, click on add a shared mailbox, and it picks up already the Supportworks help desk mailbox. I click OK, select that mailbox and give as many rights as I want. In this particular case, I'll give all rights because it's an admin user. After that, in order for Supportworks to be able to use the shared mailbox, to send and receive emails, I'd go to Tools, Options and Settings, Email, and specify my default mail origin as Supportworks Help Desk with that Test Pamela email address. After you've given the analyst rights to send and receive emails, you can come into Supportworks and actually send a test email. In my case, I'll send a test email to support@homebill.com. When I click on send, that email should be listed in my sent items folder. It will wait for the scheduler to send it out as outbound email, but I don't have to wait for that. I can access my command prompt and actually go into the directory program files Hornbill Supportworks server bin and type out SW internet MC -v-o to process outbound emails. Thereafter, I can access the support at Hornbill mailbox, reply to that email, and come back to the command prompt to process inbound emails. Now, the command I'll use to process inbound emails is the same, except I'll use -v-i. After I reply to my email, I process the inbound emails. I'll be able to see in the inbox my test reply has come back. There it is, test email has come back to me at 10:50. So I hope this whole video has helped you learn how to configure emails in Supportworks, and I hope that you put it to good use. Thank you.